Today has been fun and it made me a little bit reflective because the reason I do all the things I do is in order to have that like life by design and the flexibility that I crave. And today was a perfect example of that. So I got up early. I had some work to do on the computer. I had a couple calls for my network marketing business and for my new digital marketing business. And then I met a friend for brunch. Then I opened up the boutique. Then my girl Grace came to take over at the boutique for the rest of the day. And I've got some personal errands to run before I go pick up the kids. Like, this is why I do all the things, so I can have the life that I want. The reason I'm sharing that is because you have to be your own biggest cheerleader. Because if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to kind of like go against the status quo and kind of forge your own path, there are going to be people every single step of the way telling you why you shouldn't do this, why you should do that, why it has to be this way. And you're going to have to decide at some point, are you going to listen to all this? To people who aren't even stakeholders in your life, or are you going to just push forward, trust your gut, worry about your values, your integrity, and the people that matter to you, and do it anyway? And that's what sets people apart, is the people who do it anyway and are able to tune out all of this. I'm going to use my story as an example. Hang on. What's interesting is it's usually when you decide to like go against the grain or like go against the status quo, because nobody had anything to say about my career decisions when I got my master's in elementary ed and got my first teaching job. Nobody was like, ooh, are you sure your income's going to be capped? Or, ooh, are you sure like it's a lot of hours outside the classroom you don't get paid for, a lot of prep work, are you sure? Like no, nobody gave that kind of feedback. But I remember when I launched my blog, people had a lot of stuff to say, like, oh my gosh, she doesn't even have experience fashion. Oh my gosh, who does she think she is? Taking pictures of herself. Oh my goodness. And you know what? That led to my styling business. It led to a personal shopping job with a major brand, like press publications. I got to do so many cool events and fun projects I was able to work on because of starting that blog. It actually led me to Monat and launching that business, which, that's a whole other situation that everybody felt the need to tell me. I mean, people had a field day. It was like, oh my gosh, but you already have your own brand, which was the brand that they had originally made fun of course. But now everybody's used to it and it's fine. And like, oh wait, she does make money doing this part-time from home. But then it was like, oh my goodness, you're partnering with a network marketing company. Have you lost your mind? What about your reputation? Nobody makes money at those things, really? You're going to be a mom selling stuff on Facebook? The horror. And, I took all that with a grain of salt and did it anyway, thank God, which is kind of like what I do with everything in my life. The same happened when I decided to open the boutique. So I started telling people about the boutique I'm opening, and I hear that, are you sure in 2023, brick and mortar's dead, the economy's bad? Are you sure you want to do that? Bookish? What does that even mean? Are you sure there's a market for that? I don't know how well that's going to go over. You're going to have to be there all the time. You might as well just put a cot in the back because you're going to have to be open 24/7. You can't set your own hours. That won't be well received. And then there were the people who were like, no, you can't open the boutique because you're a leader with a network marketing company. And that's not a good look, because what if people think you need the money and you're not successful in your other business? And I was just like, wait, first of all, I can't worry about imaginary scenarios that people invent in their own minds. And the whole point, and what I have been selling people for almost a decade, is a life by design and building the life that you want. So, and guys, I'm not worried about how it looks. I'm not, because I've got my own little like Hallmark movie that I live in, where I can walk out of my little house, walk through a quaint little town, open up my little boutique. It's something I've dreamed of since I was a little girl. So no, I'm not worried about somebody like making up a story about that in their head. I cannot live my life worrying about stuff like that. And the same goes for this MRR course that I am selling. You guys, it is a online course about digital marketing that I am taking because it teaches really great skills that I will be able to utilize in all of my businesses. and it happens to come with master resale rights, which allows me to sell it to other business owners or digital creators who are looking for better ways to automate and sell products online. And as you can imagine, people have things to say about that too. Like, how could I possibly sell a product that I didn't make? How could I sell a course that I didn't write myself? And I'm like, well, I mean, kind of made a whole career selling things I didn't make. Like, spoiler, I'm not cooking up the shampoo in the basement, and I'm not like knitting the sweaters in the store, guys. I sell other people's stuff every day, all the time. So that didn't even enter my mind as something to worry about. But I think what people are upset about is the fact that I earn 100% commission. I think everybody would feel better. And I don't know why, but stay with me on this. I think everybody would feel better if I was an affiliate for Zach and Hannah Pippins, who made the course. I think they would feel better if maybe Zach and Hannah cut me a check for 20% every time I sold it. I think everybody would feel a whole lot better about the situation. Now, I'm a seasoned entrepreneur, so at this point I am used to it. It doesn't really ruffle my feathers. Although, when people say hurtful things, it still hurts because you're still human. But if you are new and starting out on this entrepreneurial journey, what I want you to do is, when you're faced with a decision of new opportunities, of different directions in your business or businesses, to always ask yourself, is this going to get me closer to the life that I am trying to build? And if the answer is yes, and if you have support from the stakeholders in your life, you go for it, because that's the only way you get from point A to point B, is being brave and feeling scared and doing it anyway. There have been so many times in my life where I could have been worried about perception or what other people were gonna think and let that hold me back, and I wouldn't have the life I have today. So trust your, it cut me off because I talk too much, but I wanted to end this by saying, trust your gut and know that God put that dream in your heart for a reason. So you have to be able to take those steps out in faith. Sometimes you have to put the blinders on and follow your intuition and prayerfully consider different options that are presented to you, and don't be afraid to forge your own path. You got this, and I'll be cheering you on every step of the way.